And we continue at 2:06 in the afternoon. Talk Radio 790 KABC, the John Phillips Show. Broadcasting live from the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa Living Room Studios, where the buffet sounds mighty good right now. I had a small lunch. Mr. Randy Wang's at the sports desk in Culver City.
John, this morning, President Joe Biden was in the state of Illinois wearing a big old red United Auto Workers shirt, looking like Bobby Knight of all people, as he greeted all the successful strikers of the auto workers strike, and he got a little too excited.
Hello. Some you don't know.
I saw that when he landed, I don't know if it was in Michigan or Chicago, because I think he's going on a tour through the Middle West. But he walked all the way down the stairs from the plane, and he didn't trip once.
That's right, and that is breaking news. Now, it's not all laughs. Early on in this speech, where he was congratulating the United Auto Workers for a successful strike and a good deal, Biden got heckled. And he got heckled by something that has nothing to do with United Auto Workers. It's about Gaza.
But here's the deal. I got raised on automobiles. My dad ran an automobile. He didn't own it. He ran an automobile agency for a long time.
If you didn't know who he was, wouldn't you think he's 3 whiskeys deep now?
Oh, yeah. And apparently he's a teetotaler. He doesn't drink at all.
No, he just sounds that way.
But here's the deal. I got raised on automobiles. My dad ran an automobile. He didn't own it. He ran an automobile agency for a long time.
I don't know if I would interrupt a room full of union bros.
Yes, if there's any crowd you do not want to stir the pot with, it's that one.
No, let it go. Let it, no.
Throw her out!
No, let it, it's okay. Anyway.
So that happened.
They're going to throw the parking brake on her real fast.
Things calmed down pretty quickly, and Biden went to his patented crowd work.
Well, I tell you, I've worn this shirt a lot, man. You have no idea. I've been involved in the UAW longer than you were alive, man.
Calling everyone man.
Well, I tell you, I've worn this shirt a lot, man. You have no idea. I've been involved in the UAW longer than you were alive, man.
Whenever he's in front of a union crowd, the word man to him is like the word brother with Hulk Hogan.
Well, Biden is old enough to actually have been a hippie in the 60s, so it fits.
I guess.
You saved the auto industry.
You saved the what?
Autumn industry?
You saved the auto industry.
The what?
The autumn industry.
You saved the auto industry.
It's that pumpkin spice time of year.
You saved the auto industry.
Here's Joe Biden getting a little off track.
Just ask the folks at Toyota, which last week announced it would significantly finally increase wages for their workers. You had no choice. They had no choice because of what you did. You helped everybody.
What?
I'm telling you, when this man gives a speech, it's like watching a drunk man drive down an icy road.
Speaking of which, for this next clip, I recommend that you put your hand on your volume knob because you're going to need it.
But I watched it before. I watched it as a kid. I watched it as a senator. I watched what happened in my community.
Whoa.
Also, Joe Biden said this.
Stop him and go home.
Say again?
Stop him and go home.
Okay, what language is that?
Stop him and go home.
Swahili?
I don't know.
Stop him and go home.
German?
Stop him and go home.
It could be some dead biblical language.
I usually am pretty good at getting these. I have no idea what the hell he is saying.
Stop him and go home.
That's definitely not English.
Stop him and go home.
Also, since he's now in his 80s, Sometimes he gets a little shaky with the voice.
And then I kept talking about science. How can you be the leading country without investing in science and research?
4 more years, huh?
That's right. This campaign is moving full steam ahead, and I should know because I keep getting asked if I want to give them money.
People do realize it's not going to get better.
Typically, these things only move in one direction. It's going to happen to all of us. It's just going to happen to him a lot sooner.
If this is where he's at now, it's really 5 years from now because we still have all of next year. What do you think this man is going to be like in 5 years?
And then we went to sleep.
Well, he might be in a room by himself singing himself happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alvin. Happy birthday to you.
So that's what Grampy Joe is up to today.
Is it crazy that we have several former presidents who are still alive who haven't been president in like 30 years and they sound more coherent than the current president?
Well, and many of them are younger than Joe.
I think they all are, except for Jimmy Carter. But Jimmy Carter sounds more with it than Joe.
Jimmy Carter was president in the 70s. So that's what Joe Biden is doing today. Last night, the Republicans had their, third debate?
Oh,
I think it's the third one.
I think it was the third one. NBC hosted it. It was in Miami. There were only 5 people on there, and it was not anything that was worth anybody's time to watch.
No. The ratings were highest for the first one, which was hosted by Fox News. The second one was hosted by Fox Business. The ratings were not quite as high as the first one, but they did okay. The ratings were awful for last night's debate.
There was one moment that I thought was really important, and we're actually going to play the clip for you here because Chris Christie got up on the stage, and he said something that was just unforgettable for me. Can you believe he said that?
He really is eloquent. But, of course, the reason that no one paid attention is because Donald Trump, the former president, is so far ahead in the Republican primary polls. If he wins in Iowa and wins in New Hampshire and wins in South Carolina, it's virtually impossible for any of these candidates to leapfrog him and win the nomination. Specifically, for someone like Ron DeSantis, Iowa is extremely important to him. He's putting all of his chips on Iowa, and if he doesn't win in Iowa, he's done. New Hampshire, I would assume, is the firewall for Chris Christie. If Chris Christie is ever going to catch fire, it's going to happen in New Hampshire. It's close to New Jersey, which is the state that he was the governor of. They are known for voting for independent-minded candidates, certainly candidates who are willing to criticize their own party, and Chris Christie certainly fits that bill. If he doesn't win in New Hampshire, he's done. Then you have South Carolina, where 2 of the candidates are from, Nikki Haley, a former governor, and Tim Scott, a current U.S. senator. If they don't win in South Carolina, they're done. On the Democratic side of the aisle, Grampy Joe is blowing away his token opposition. Since Robert F. Kennedy Jr. dropped out of the Democratic primary and opted to run as an independent, all he's left with right now is Marianne Williamson, the lady who sells crystals, and a congressman from Minnesota, Dean Phillips. I really like his name, Dean.
We got to get a campaign sign. Phillips for president.
Yes, if you see one, please get one for me. Don't steal one out of someone's yard, but if you're offered one by the campaign, I would love to have one, especially if it doesn't say Dean anywhere on it. If it just says Phillips for president, then I would enjoy one. So, given the fact that the odds are we're looking at Trump v. Biden part 2, One of the aspects of this campaign is going to be that's already starting to make itself apparent is that there are going to be a number of third-party candidates who put their name on the ballot. We already know that Cornel West, the left-wing professor, is going to be running on the ticket of opposing Israel, not supporting Israel in going after Hamas. We know that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., when he dropped out of the Democratic primary, announced that he would be running as a third-party candidate, and he's polling pretty consistently in the double digits, and in some cases in the 20s. Then you have Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate, who has run before and announced today that she will be running as a third-party candidate. And then you have Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, who announced today that he would not be running for re-election for a seat in the United States Senate, and hinted that he would be traveling around the country and maybe there's more to come. So you could have Joe Manchin running for president on a no-labels ticket as a Democrat or former Democrat, and maybe find some Republican who doesn't like Trump and run them as the vice presidential nominee. Someone like Mitt Romney or Larry Hogan, the former governor of Maryland. We could, in theory, have 4 or 5 third-party candidates on the ballot in addition to Biden and Trump. And if the polls are right, and the polls say that there are a lot of people out there who really, really, really don't like Joe Biden, and there are a lot of people out there who really, really, really don't like Donald Trump, and there's a whole lot of people out there who really, really, really don't like either one of them, we could be looking at an election where third-party candidates do very well. Now, the Electoral College will probably prevent any of them from generating electoral votes. You have to win a state outright with a plurality to win any electoral votes. Ross Perot, with as good as he did back in 1992 and 1996, didn't win any electoral votes. And he probably cost George H.W. Bush a couple of states at least. Bill Clinton won that election with 43%. But if these third-party candidates do as good or better than Ross Perot, the eventual winner of the election could be elected with 43% of the vote or less. Imagine that. That's a distinct possibility. And right now, the issue that's dividing the Democratic Party is the issue of Israel. You see a lot of people in the streets protesting what the Israeli government is doing right now and essentially getting behind Hamas. Whenever you see a swastika that is being flown at a protest, that's never good news. And that's what we saw over the weekend. Well, if those young people, and it was primarily young people who were in the streets, if they're very upset with Joe Biden, my guess is that many of them voted for Joe Biden last time around. Joe Biden did very well, did a very good job with the college kids and in the college towns. This time around, he's probably not going to do as well. This time around, a lot of those people are probably going to vote for some of these third-party candidates. And in some states, states like Michigan, that had significant Arab populations, significant black populations, significant populations of young people because they have a lot of colleges, that could be the difference between Joe Biden winning or losing. The wild card is what votes go to the third-party candidates. Is it votes that would otherwise go to Biden or Trump? And if it disproportionately benefits Biden, he may win the election thanks to the third-party candidates. If it disproportionately helps Donald Trump, he may win the election because of it. We don't really know how that's going to shake out. Take Robert F. Kennedy Jr., for example. He has the Kennedy name. Democrats love the Kennedys. He was an environmental justice warrior for a very long time. Democrats like that. He has long spent a career in Democratic politics. Democrats are certainly aware of who he is. But he's against the vaccine. And more Republicans are skeptical of the vaccine than Democrats right now, according to polling. So does Robert F. Kennedy Jr. draw more from Trump or Biden? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. How hard does Cornel West campaign against Israel? Does that become a single issue that he runs on? If so, how much steam does he pick up from people who don't like Israel? If he talks about other subjects, he probably won't pick up a lot of the support. If that's the subject that he focuses on, he probably will. And then you have the Joe Manchin ticket. Joe Manchin is interesting because while he's a Democrat, he's generally regarded as being the most conservative Democrat in the Senate. Is he going to pick up votes from people who would otherwise vote for Biden but think that Biden is senile or moved too far to the left? I guess that's a possibility. Or does he do well with the college-educated whites, the never-Trump Republicans, who cannot stomach Donald Trump? That's a possibility, too. The short answer is we don't know how it's going to shake out. And then you have two very elderly major party nominees. Joe Biden is already in his 80s, and Donald Trump is not far behind him. There's no guarantee that either one of them will be alive come November of next year. If you look at the actuarial tables, they've already outlived the median age that men live to in this country. They could have a health scare. They could die. You never know. Health is something that's very tricky. We certainly dealt with that here in California with Dianne Feinstein for a while as her health deteriorated, but we were told she was fine until she wasn't.
Well, and sometimes it could come on, it could be a very slow process, but sometimes something could come on right away and you degrade real quick.
That's right. What's going to happen if Joe Biden sits down with 60 Minutes and says, you know, I just got off the phone with FDR and he told me I'm doing a great job? Yeah. That's going to be a tough one to explain. So here's my question to you right now at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Are you open to voting for a third-party candidate this upcoming November? Whether it be Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jill Stein, Cornel West, Joe Manchin, or maybe someone else. I wouldn't vote for a third-party candidate because they don't win. The winner will be Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Third parties, historically speaking, are good at generating attention for issues that they care about or operating as a none-of-the-above option. If I really, truly hated both of the candidates in the major parties, then maybe I would vote for a third-party candidate. But I'm not going to do that this time. Would you consider voting third party in the upcoming presidential election? And you're going to have a lot of options. That's the way it's looking right now. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your calls coming. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, if you want to go back and listen to an episode of the show that you may have missed from before, that is easy to do.
That's right. Go to KABC.com, click on podcasts, go to the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify, search for The John Phillips Show, hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes that way. You can also get the KABC app, search KABC AM in the Apple App Store or the Android Store. Easiest way to listen live to this station whenever you're outside the AM radio signal. And you can download all the podcasts. Listen in your car, listen on your phone. You can download the 12 o'clock hour today where Karen Bass was doing her best Chandler impression.
Good morning, everyone. I just love starting my day like this.
That is a departure from the usual kindergarten teacher we get.
If you're feeling down, if you're feeling blue, let's get help for you.
And Randy, coming up later on in the month, we're going on the road.
That's right. Friday, November 17th, a week from tomorrow, we're going to be broadcasting live at the brand new Gelson's West LA at West Edge on the corner of Olympic and Bundy. The Gelson's West LA at West Edge is open now. It's absolutely gorgeous in there. We're going to be broadcasting live from the craft beer, wine, and sushi bar, so hope to see you there next Friday, noon to 3.
Right now, we're taking your calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's looking like we're going to have a number of third-party candidates on your November ballot next year, including Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the former Democratic candidate, Cornel West, the academic, and possibly even Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia. Would you consider voting for a third-party candidate for president? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We're taking your calls right now at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It looks like you're going to have at least 4 different options for third-party candidates on your November ballot for president. Are you open to voting for a third-party candidate? 800-222-KABC is the number. Let's begin with Ben in Beverly Hills. Ben, you're on KABC. Hello.
Yes, I'm open to third party. I'm open to Mr. Phillips because he's the only Democrat talking sense about the border and our economy. Thank you. We've got one Democrat at least who is not deluded. You know, everybody in the Democratic Party I talk to is in total denial. And to the moment that they are tossed out on the street and homeless, Democrats are sticking with Biden. It's pathological. And also a Perot-type candidate? Sure, absolutely.
Is there any third-party candidate out there now that excites you?
No.
Okay. Thank you for the call, sir. I appreciate it. Let's go to David in West L.A. David, you're on KABC. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I would vote third party. I think it's important to have more parties in our system. 2 parties is just not enough.
And is there any third-party candidate out there right now who intrigues you?
There are elements of RFK Jr. I like. There's a lot I don't like. But again, I think for the greater good, it's better to have more than 2 parties. 2 parties is really just one party away from a communist or a dictator takeover.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's go to Carl in Thousand Oaks. Carl, you're on KABC. Hello.
Yeah, let me start off by saying I am a huge Trump supporter. But what I really like about Manchin is I think he's a candidate that can come across the aisle and get things done. I don't think we've seen that since Clinton. And so Joe Manchin's done a few things voting that I wasn't real happy about, but I think he would make a strong candidate. So he would be, if Trump's not in a zebra suit, I'm going to vote for him. But otherwise, Joe Manchin, I would consider.
Do you think Manchin is going to steal more votes from Trump or from Biden?
Oh, definitely from Biden, because a lot of people voted for Biden on a moderate platform, and Biden has not done that. So I think Democrats are looking for a moderate, and I think even Kennedy can fit that bill. But I think he would steal a lot from Biden.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's go to Jose in Cerritos. Jose, you're on KABC. Welcome.
Yes. The other day, I just want to say something real quick. The other day, you were looking for words like husky, et cetera, et cetera. Being that this is Veterans Day, I'd like to mention this. Well, not today, but Monday, of course. I found my grandfather's registration, and I've had historians look at, my history. But anyway, on there, it has stout, medium, and thin. Stout would be the good word for husky. But anyway, to make a long story short here, I'm kind of stuck on Nikki Haley. I just like Nikki Haley. I would vote for Trump. I do like Trump. I am Hispanic, and I do like Trump. But I think I would rather vote for Nikki Haley. Anybody else, third party, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, I did vote for Kanye West because I wasn't sure the last time Biden and Trump ran. I was kind of iffy about Trump. The last time I voted for a Democrat, I was pushing my car to the gas station, if anybody can remember those days, every other day. And that ever since then, I have never voted for a Democrat. So that off the bat, I will never vote for a Democrat. It's got to be a Republican. I'm iffy on Trump, but I do like Nikki Haley. And anybody else, I don't think so.
What if Kanye runs again?
No. Kanye? No, not now. That was before he was kind of, now he's kind of, no way.
That was only when he was pretty crazy. Now he's totally crazy.
Yes. I like crazy, okay? I do like crazy. But I know he wasn't going to run. At that time, I was just iffy. I didn't want to put my name for Trump. I didn't want to put my name for Biden. I was iffy about Trump. I do like Trump. Don't get me wrong. I do like Trump. There's a lot of things I like about him. All he has to do is quit insulting people, and I'd probably like him a little bit more. Bottom line. I don't like insulting presidents. I don't like it. But the way he ran the country, I thought he did fine.
Well, he's almost 80 years old, so I don't think he's going to change his personality anytime soon.
No, of course not. Of course not.
All right.
I think this is going to be a real weird one. That's all I can say.
Another vote for Kanye. Thank you for the call, sir. I appreciate it. I think Jose might be the first person I've ever talked to who voted for Kanye.
There were a few hundred that did.
There were a couple of races out here in Riverside County. And by the way, right as that segment was starting, my phone started going bananas. Apparently the 911 system is now down in Riverside County.
Oh, boy. You trying to show up Oakland or something?
I guess. What is the deal with the 911 system going down all the time now? Do you remember this ever happening as a child?
Never. This is something that's very recent, and it is getting real scary. There's a little bit of security knowing that if something crazy happens, you can call for help. You take that away, it gets a little scarier to be out on the streets.
You dial the 800 number for American Airlines. Even when there's a hurricane, it goes through. You may wait on hold forever, but it goes through. How is it that American Airlines, with their antiquated technology, has a better understanding of the phone system than 911? Of all the numbers to go down, that's the one that we can't figure out? Can't we get Lily Tomlin at the switchboard? Can someone get Ma Bell on the line? What do we have to do to fix 911? I mean, it's bad in Riverside County not having 911 because you're worried about fires and those sorts of things. In Oakland not having 911, my God.
It's wild, wild west out here.
And you know what? In the wild, wild west, there was no 911.
And in Oakland and Riverside County, apparently there isn't any 911 either.
Just wait till you see what happened to your basketball courts.
Oh, my God. They melted the basketball court.
Is there anything in the news about that yet?
About Riverside and 911? I don't think so.
Okay. Because all of a sudden my phone just started vibrating.
911 remains unavailable to call, according to the Riverside County Sheriff.
And do they say how long it's supposed to be down for?
They do not. They say there are alternative numbers that you can call for emergencies.
Okay, so if they're doing regular maintenance, I don't know if I would take 911 down during rush hour.
Well, wait, this is a little weirder. It says the Riverside County Sheriff has announced that 911 is available from cell phones. If you're on a landline, you can still call 911. I don't know how that works. Oh, you can also still text 911, but apparently the cell phone tower is not working.
All right. If you're out in Riverside County, be careful. 911's down.
It's a 10 and 2 kind of day, people.